The continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington.
Michael Rossi is determined to be of help to Ann Howard. In doing so, he finds he must threaten the order and purpose her job as physical therapist at Doctor's Hospital gives her. Now, armed with the knowledge that an anonymous poison pen letter attacking her has been sent to the Clarion, he confronts Ann Howard, not knowing that this letter was written by Hannah Cord.
Hello, Nancy.
Hi, Dorothy. Why didn't you try this on your own for a while? Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I had a visitor over at the cottage last night. It was Elliot Carson. Someone had written a letter to him at the Clarion.
About me?
Yes.
What did it say?
Well, ugly, ridiculous things, but the point is someone knows who you are and questions your right to work at the hospital.
What did the letter say, the ugly things?
Well, supposedly it was written by a parent to one of the handicapped children, but it wasn't signed.
What did it say?
It said that Ann Howard, whose real name is Ann Colby, had once, quote, maliciously pushed, unquote, one of the children, a boy, over Sailor's Bluff and caused his blindness.
Go on.
Well, I mean...
Please.
Well, the writer went on to say that the hospital board had no right to select a person like this who had, quote, sadistic tendencies, unquote, to work with the children.
You know, you hear about letters like those, but you never really believe that somebody would write them.
Yes, I know. But Elliot Carson isn't going to print it. He doesn't believe it was written by one of the parents.
Do you, Mike?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It could have been a parent, but... And we knew something like this could happen.
Yes, I know. You warned me.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then, Miss Howard... yes, Nancy.
What color should I paint this?
Honey, why don't you pick out a color yourself, okay?
Okay.
Mike, don't you see? The letter could have been written by somebody who was at the Bluff. Somebody who doesn't want the story brought up again after all these years.
Well, we can't count on that. And we can't always count on a man like Elliot Carson being around either.
You're no hand-holder, are you, Doctor?
Well, you're no patient. Now, you're going to have to tell Dr. Morton who you are. And you're going to have to do it today.
All right.
Ann, this morning?
This morning.
All right. Bye, Nancy.
Bye, Dr. Morton.
Anything new?
Just the usual murders, wars, plagues, insurrections, all over the world. Nothing is new.
Well, what about Peyton Place?
Even more dull. You're thinking about Ann Colby, aren't you?
I think of little else.
Well, you'd better try. Or else life will be more unbearable than usual around here.
Very well, Norton.
We must not make a move. We must wait for her to act.
I know, Martin.
you wanted to see me?
Oh, yes, Michael. Something awkward has come up. This came in the morning's mail. It concerns our new physical therapist. I'm afraid we'll have to do something about it. It's a poison pen letter. Concerns Miss Howard.
Ma'am?
Yes. It makes quite a shocking accusation. Years ago, there was a tragic incident.
Yes, I know.
What do you know?
Well, Miss Howard told me what happened when she was a child.
I see. And why wasn't I informed?
Well, we hardly thought it was worth dredging up again. After all this time, we thought it was over and done with.
Obviously, it hasn't been forgotten. People in small towns have long memories.
I wish they had something better to do with their time.
Well, that's beside the point. When I hired Miss Howard, she had no right to withhold that information.
She intended to tell you, Doctor.
She was obviously hoping she wouldn't have to tell me at all. And since she didn't step forward, then it was your duty to do so.
Mine?
Yes.
But she was a child when it happened.
A disturbed child. I was the attending physician at the time they brought Chris Webber in. I remember the facts.
Well, what happened to Chris Webber then certainly has no bearing on an adult woman's career today.
You're skipping a step, Michael. As I remember it, after the accident, the girl was placed in a hospital under psychiatric care.
But she was released, given a clean bill of health. That was years ago.
Then you knew about that, too?
Yes. But that's beside the point. Ann Howard is a qualified, highly recommended physical therapist. Otherwise, you wouldn't have hired her.
Well, frankly, if I'd known who she was, I wouldn't have.
Well, Doctor, I've heard all the arguments. Where it comes to children, parents are emotional human beings. They're blind. They're intolerant. They can't be reasoned with. But as professional men, is it fair for us to condemn Miss Howard for the rest of her life? Can we judge her, try her, sentence her? Can we?
Of course not. But as administrator of this hospital, I can't afford to ignore the feelings of our patients and their parents.
Well, what about Ann Howard's feelings? Isn't it obvious why she started working with children? To make up for what happened with the Webber boy?
Well, that's very commendable. But our patients' parents won't see it that way.
Well, then it's up to us to inform them and allow them to understand.
A thing like this, Michael, it breeds rumors and secrecy. It brings out the fear and the ugliness in people. I don't like it.
I know. Incidentally, Elliot Carson received a copy of your letter at the Clarion.
Oh?
Well, he's not going to print it. He doesn't believe that it was necessarily written by one of the parents.
You certainly are a wealth of privileged information.
Doctor, I know Ann Howard away from the hospital. It's a social relationship. But it has nothing to do with this letter or anything professional.
I'll accept that, Michael. But why put yourself in an awkward position?
I don't know, Doctor. Sometimes the right position happens also to be an awkward one. Is that all, sir?
Yeah, that'll be all.
I'm scared.
What are you scared of? If you're gonna have a baby, you're gonna have a baby.
I am. I hope he grows up just like his father.
Rita? Norman?
Oh, hi, Dr. Rossi.
Hi, Dr. Rossi. Well, you want to come inside? Oh, Norman, you can wait out here, huh?
Thank you.
Why, hello, Norman.
Hi, Dad. What are you doing here?
I just finished my once-a-year physical.
What's the verdict?
100%.
That's good. That's very good. I bet you that's a relief to get it.
When was the last time you had a physical exam?
Me, I haven't been sick or anything for years, Dad.
Never hurts to be safe. What are you doing here?
I'm waiting for Rita. She's with, Sally Bates.
Who's Sally Bates?
A friend of hers from school. She's got pneumonia.
That's too bad.
Well, why don't I walk you out the parking lot?
What about Rita?
Oh, she'll find me.
Oh, sit down, Norman. I want to talk to you.
No, I'll walk you out the parking lot. We can talk out there.
Let's sit here. Let's talk about college, Norman.
Okay, let's talk about college.
The world's too competitive these days.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Please, could we be serious?
You have to excuse my sarcasm. It's my natural state.
Look, I know how you feel. I went through the same thing. Right now, you're sitting on top of the world.
Sure, Dad.
You have a devoted wife, an apartment, a town full of people who like you, who love you.
I've got a maid, all right.
Yes, you do. No, I'm not going to talk about the future. I don't like people who use vague terms like the future. I'm talking about a year from now, 2 years from now. I'm talking about your life right around the corner.
I appreciate that, Dad. I really do.
How will you earn your living, Norman? How long will you be satisfied with unloading cartons of breakfast cereal?
I'm with you so far.
Fine. Now, let's say you get fed up in, say, 6 months.
Make it 2. I'm not putting you on, Dad. I'm serious.
Right. We'll make it 2. Where will you look for work? What are you qualified to do, even if I started you in the mill?
Forget it.
Just for the purpose of conversation.
Forget it.
Where will you look for work?
I'll survive.
That's exactly what you'll do, and nothing more. You have a wife now, Norman. Responsibility.
Don't you think I know that? I'm not a kid anymore.
We always end up this way, don't we? Go to college. Hate me for telling you, but go to college. Goodbye, Norman. Sit down, Rita.
Am I through?
Just about.
Am I? Pregnant?
Well, we won't know that for another 24 hours.
Oh, I thought...
I'll call you as soon as the tests come in. What is it? What's wrong?
Norman and I aren't ready to have a baby.
Ready? Well, I'm afraid babies are notoriously indifferent to whether or not the parents are ready for it. But we're not sure with you yet. It may be a false alarm.
I hate waiting to know things.
Well, there are a lot of reasons why the system could be out of balance. Virus or an old cold, for that matter of fact. If you do have a baby, I'm sure Norman would welcome it into the world, huh?
Sure, I would too, I guess. But it's not fair. Norm just decided to go back to college.
Oh, I see. Well, his father has his job back as the head of the mill. Wouldn't he help?
Norm wouldn't care if he was king or Shaw or something. He'd never take anything from him. It's his pride.
Oh, I see.
And my mom would help out too, but you should see what I have to go through every time she slips me a couple of dollars.
Well, Rita, you're going to have to face the facts. If you are pregnant.
Norm's got to have this chance. I can't be a millstone around his neck. I can't ever let him say I held him back. May I go now?
Yes.
Norm's probably climbing the walls. You won't forget to call.
No, of course not.
Thank you.